What's up, everybody? It's your boy Wings of Redemption, and we're back with Chaos Theories. This is the Sunday version, and this is one I've been waiting to do for a while. We're going to do the JFK assassination.
Big topic.
Big topic. You know, this might not actually be a conspiracy theory, but there's a conspiracy theory built around it. Everybody knows JFK was assassinated. That part is set in stone. The motherfucker's head got flattened like a pancake at IHOP. But there was no Russian waitress here to scoop it on up and put it with a side of eggs.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, I went there.
It's okay. You went there. I mean, we've all seen the chunk of his head flying towards the back of the car there.
Dude, that new HD footage of it, dude. If you guys never seen the HD footage of the, what's it called, the Zutberg film?
The Zapruder film, right?
Zapruder film, yeah.
That's the popular film that everyone's seen. If you've seen the movie JFK, that's based around that. So I found this sort of slowed down, high definition version of the Zapruder film. The critical part where he's getting shot, and it's pretty rough, man. I mean, you see this thing come apart. It's right there in front of your face. It's pretty crazy, but. Yeah, so Wings and I are talking about this. It's a pretty big topic. There's a lot to talk about. So what we thought we would do is make this a two-parter, because there's really two pieces to this conspiracy. A is, what's the motivation behind it? Like, why would they want to off him, whoever that may be? And then second, there's so much debate about the actual assassination, who was involved, whether the Warren Commission was correct. So for part one here, we're going to talk about the motivations for it. So what do you think, Wings? Do you have any guesses as to why people would want to off Kennedy?
The Illuminati.
I know. Yeah, you had to say that, because the comment section for every single Chaos Theory video we've done has been 100 people asking for the Illuminati.
Yeah, people want the Illuminati.
Yeah. What do you think we should give it to them? What do you think?
We'll get there. Illuminati is a big topic. I know.
That might have to be like a 4 or 5 chapter.
That has to be a two weekends worth of at least.
I know. But
there's always that theory, and this is one of our Chaos Theories, that he did the speech right before he got shot, and he said something about the secret powers. I don't have it right in front of me, but he says something in the context of he is not going to basically listen to secret powers. He's not going to take under the table bribes. He's going to be the president for the people, by the people, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden his brains are sitting in the back of a Lincoln Town car.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I think anybody who's got a proper brain on their head knows that there's people who are pulling the strings behind the scenes. And in the case of President Kennedy, there was a very serious development going on in a country called Vietnam that there was a lot of money riding on. There was a lot of plans to do a lot of things there. And the big reasoning behind why would anybody want to kill Kennedy was in large part revolved around his willingness to turn Vietnam into what it would eventually become after he was, gotten rid of after he died. Vietnam obviously became a gigantic part of U.S. history. The economy, a lot of dollars were involved in this thing. So a lot of people think that, this was obviously an inside job, and it really stemmed from the military, big generals.
Here's the thing with Vietnam. I don't know how other people seen it. Obviously, there's more inline, there's history and all this thing, but I've seen Vietnam more as like the Cold War was right there, and we wanted to test our military power, and I felt like Vietnam was the stage that we used it in.
Yeah, totally. But you also have to look at this, right? What is one thing that President Kennedy's known for?
The Bay of Pigs.
Yes, right. So if you ask me, President Kennedy had the biggest balls of any president.
He stared nukes right down the face.
Yeah, any president since, say George Washington. I mean, because that guy was a badass too. But, I mean, John F. Kennedy basically looked the Russians right in their face and said, fucking bring it. You want it? We got it. And he stood them off. So if you look at it from that perspective as, we need to prove to the Russians that, what we're capable of, I think Kennedy did that without firing a signal shot with the Bay of Pigs. he showed them the kind of resolve that just backed them down. I mean, he was ready to all out thermonuclear war, and he made them turn their fucking boats around and go back. So I think it's more driven by the economics of a war than, say them wanting to show up the Russians.
Yeah, but at the same effect, who really wants a thermonuclear war?
Nobody, but the Russians had no choice. I mean, he pretty much told them, look, if you cross this line, if you bring those boats, because, what was happening was, the Russians sent a bunch of ships. They were going to go to Cuba. And Kennedy basically told them, look, if your ships cross this line, we are going to retaliate in full. So he didn't threaten them with nuclear war, but he basically told them, like, you need to turn your shit around or shit's going to get real.
So it basically had the Russians right there ready to fuck his shit up.
Yeah, he called their bluff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a hard bluff to call, too. Like, somebody's going to be butthurt, especially in people in high power that never been told no before.
Well, yeah, I mean, the world came close to being over at that moment. But Kennedy, I mean, how many presidents could have done that? I mean,
Obama couldn't.
No,
I don't think Romney could either.
Hell no. No modern president.
Well, just imagine we had Romney in the White House when that happens.
Oh, I know. He would, yeah, he would have had, like, today he would have said yes, tomorrow he would have said no. But anyway, that's a whole different another thing. But you know what I mean? I mean, Kennedy stood him up right in his face and was ready to, he just gambled the whole world against, look, we need to put these guys in their place. So again, I have to say that if there was a motivation within the government to get rid of Kennedy, it was because of the money that they smelled in Vietnam. And Kennedy didn't really want to turn it into what they wanted to turn it into and what they would end up turning it into. And so, sort of an inside job.
You're talking about the flower child stuff?
Well, no, just the involvement in Vietnam. I mean, the whole cover-up that it was, oh, well, if we don't stop Vietnam, then communism is going to spread around the world like wildfire. I mean, that doesn't stand up to me. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. I mean, wars are usually generated to make people rich and to spend money, and keep an economy moving. And, of course, Kennedy got involved in Vietnam for the right reasons, but I don't think he was interested in committing America the way that we ended up committing after he was gone.
I'm kind of fuzzy on my JFK. Oswald, what did he say he killed Kennedy because?
Why did Oswald say that he assassinated Kennedy?
Correct.
Well, I believe I think he was a patsy, but I believe, and of course the comment section is going to tell us after the fact what's right, but I believe it had to do with, his stance on communism. I think that he was somehow painted as a communist after the fact, and he had ties to the Russians. Something like that.
So basically, he basically stood up to the Russians and said, go to fuck home, and he got branded a communist because of that?
No, I think that Oswald was pro-communist.
Oswald was Marine, though, right?
Well, he was, yeah, at one time he was, yeah. Yeah. But, that's something that, like I said, I'm sure the comment section will correct us on. Maybe we can research that for part 2 when we start talking about what actually happened.
I think we might have more than one part 2.
Yeah, right, I know. Maybe it's going to be like 3 or 4 parts, but, but think about it. For this to come from within, it would have to come from, like you're saying, the people who are pulling the strings in the background. And a lot of the people who pull the strings in the background are really connected with the military.
I just find it odd that he had a motorcade that was basically a drop top.
Yeah.
Around all these buildings. And like I said, some people say there was 3 shots. If there were 3 shots, more people would react. Because how fast can you get 3 shots off with a bolt-action rifle? 4, 5 seconds? 6 seconds?
That's a lot of the debate is, whether he could have actually pulled it off in the time. And, the Warren Commission ended up saying that he can, but there's a hell of a lot of people who say that there's no way he could have tracked a moving target and gotten those. I mean, this bolt-action rifle, like saying this isn't Call of Duty.
This is a Sears bolt-action rifle, too. It's not no top-of-the-line one.
Yeah, well, there's even dispute on what kind of rifle he used, but yeah, I mean, but I think that it's also you're saying the motorcade, obviously, it was pretty easy to shoot him. It was like shooting a fish in a barrel there, but I'm pretty sure that was kind of standard thing to do back then. I think after he died when
he wasn't the first president to be assassinated.
No, but he was the first president to be assassinated in a long fucking time, certainly since they were riding around in cars and shit. So I think it was after he got, killed that the security really sort of got beefed up, and they started to say, hey, wait a minute, maybe we shouldn't, drive these guys through huge crowded cities without a little bit better protection. I mean, shit, even afterward. I mean, look at Reagan and his assassination attempt. I mean, he got lucky.
All right, guys, that's probably going to be part 1 right there. But I'm going to leave you on this note before we go into part 2. Look at the Zapruder film and look at the cops and everybody around them. None of them react to 3 different high-powered rifle shots. And tell me what you think in the comment section. It's been your boy, Wings of Redemption, and we're Audi 5000. Peace, pimps. What's up, people? It's your boy, Wings of Redemption, and it's the weekend, so you know what time it is. It's time for them chaos theories.
Shit.
Ah, shit, homie!
You know how we do.
How we do it. But, I think KRS wants that you never should go ahead and grab the mic and say, hey, you need to drop your bars right away. So we're going to go drop the bars. We got Chaos Math here with us. And last week we were doing JFK, and we pretty much talked mainly about how he got himself set up to be assassinated to begin with. Now we're going to actually talk about, debunk, theorize about the assassination itself. You want to start out, Mr. Chaos Man?
Yeah, I think you guys will like this because, when we've talked about this, we actually we don't agree with each other. So, there's most of the speculation around the JFK assassination. Of course, we talked about this Zapruder film, and, the big question is, did Oswald actually pull off those shots? Was there another shooter, the grassy knoll, all of that sort of stuff? So, we're going to kind of get into the meat on that one. So, I guess I'll start off to say, I don't think that Oswald acted alone. I think that he had an accomplice, at least one, maybe 2. And before we get into the actual, magic bullet theory and how he could have done it and how it hit the guy in front of him and stuff, I'm going to say this. The biggest reason why I think he did not act alone is because this was an inside job. Because there are so many people involved in wanting to assassinate him, I'm going to say that they would make sure that they just didn't leave it up to one guy to get the job done. That if he was going to miss, and he was, if they were going to go for this thing, they need to make sure that when that car left that, intersection where it was, JFK was going to be fucking dead. So they were not going to leave it to chance and hope, hopefully he can pull it off and take the guy out. So I'm going to start off to say right there had to be more than one shooter, just because if they were going to pull a job like this, they were going to make sure that the job was successful.
And you're saying he was basically a puppet from a puppeteer, and mainly because he got killed like right after. Did any guy who got killed like right after police custody?
Oh yeah, Jack Ruby came up and shot him like on live TV.
Jack Ruby was a cop, right?
Jack Ruby, no, he was connected to the mob. So there, and that gets
but
into
was it JFK's father like a liquor runner?
Yes, JFK. The Kennedys had ties to the mob. So there's another theory that he was assassinated because he pissed off the mob.
Could Jack Ruby have just shot him because the fact is his father was so good with the Capones of Chicago and stuff like that, running liquor across the border? They killed my son, I want this fucker dead. That kind of deal, a father's vengeance.
Oh, you're saying, okay, so Ruby was doing a favor because they owed the Kennedys something?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not too sure about Jack Ruby himself.
You have JFK in the White House. I'm not trying to say JFK's infallible. I mean, he had a fucking affair with Marilyn Monroe in the White House.
Dude, he fucked half of Hollywood when he
fucked half of fucking Hollywood. I mean, his dick was not clean. It had poop all over it from the anal sex he was giving everybody.
Can you imagine what Fox News would do to JFK if he was in office?
Jerk him off. I mean, wasn't JFK a Republican?
What? No, he was a Democrat.
It was a Democrat. See, I'm not going to sit here and claim I know a whole lot about JFK himself, but he, Fox News would rip him a new asshole, but I just don't see how it's inside job. I think it's just a crazy person, just like the Oklahoma City bombing. I mean, you got Timothy McVeigh, and what was the other guy?
So wait a minute. So you think that Oswald was just a lone gun?
I do. I think Oswald was a lone gun.
and he was just butthurt because he was pro-communist.
Look at it this way: do you think that the mob took out Abraham Lincoln, or do you think John Wilkes Booth acted on his own volition?
I don't know enough about enough about it, but I'm pretty sure that there. I mean, I suppose there's some element of the mob back then.
I'm just being. I was being just funny, but the fact is, like, there were probably people that wanted Abraham Lincoln dead. But do you think somebody paid, John Wilkes Booth? I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, I think the theory with him, we're getting way sidetracked there, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that Abraham Lincoln's death had something to do with slavery and what he was trying to do.
But the whole point was that JFK wasn't the first president to get a bullet.
No,
I mean, I don't think he was the last one. Was he the last one to catch a bullet?
Well, Reagan was the last guy to take a bullet, but he didn't die.
Yeah, but I just don't see it like that. I feel like Jack Ruby probably was doing some family vengeance. Jack Ruby was probably some thug. They got called upon. He's the lowest man on the ladder. Like, here, kill this guy. This guy fucked with our family. I mean, they pretty much took the ties out of the mob. I mean, JFK, fucking Marilyn Monroe and everybody. He had mob ties in with his father. You damn right he probably passed a bill or pushed something through to get a little payday. I can almost guarantee that.
I'm going to say that Jack Ruby killed him to shut his ass up because they needed to tie up the loose ends. I mean, if you're going to pull off something like this and then the guy gets captured alive, last thing.
But now we're doing speculation instead of actually using the facts.
Well, what are the facts then?
The facts is Jack Ruby had ties in with the mob.
That doesn't mean that it wasn't a vengeance kill. That's speculation right there. I mean, it's circumstantial, isn't it?
Well, it's circumstantial, but the fact is, it has more grounds than, like, the Illuminati set Jack Ruby up to kill him.
Hell no, dude. It was fucking... I'm thinking CIA generals, guys who wanted Vietnam to happen, big dollars were going to be behind it. They said, let's fucking kill him. And then, of course, some people in the comments I wasn't really too aware of it, but I ended up researching it after I saw some comments. Apparently, Kennedy had some plans for the Federal Reserve as well. So that would piss off more than a couple people. But yeah, if this was an inside, I believe it was an inside job. And there's no way in hell that they would leave it up to one guy. And again, we haven't even started talking about the fact that could one guy actually pull it off. There's a lot of
I think one guy could pull it
about
off. Because I've looked at a lot of documentaries about this, and like the shot's pretty much a downward trajectory. If you've ever done any kind of like shooting, downward trajectory is the easiest shot that you can take. That you pretty much take all the bullet drop out of it because you're shooting downward anyway. So so you're shooting into gravity.
Right, but I think it has more to do with acquiring a target and chambering the next round on a bolt-action rifle in the time frame that he had to pull off the shots. I think that's where a lot of the questioning is. But
there's videos out there of people acquiring targets that are like a mile away with a bolt-action rifle and hitting them in the same period of time.
Yeah, but I'm going to bet that they're probably a better shot than Oswald. I mean, he never qualified expert.
It doesn't matter. I mean, he qualified as a marksman, though, period. It doesn't matter if he was an expert marksman. I mean, expert marksman's what, 300 meters with an M16 iron sights?
Yeah, but I don't know, dude. I just can't believe that this was just one random guy who decided to take out the president.
I don't know off the top of my head. How far was the motorcade to that book depository? 60 meters?
Something like that.
It's not a far shot. I mean, there wouldn't even be bullet drop at that point. You pretty much had the president in a straight line with you, and you shoot him toward his back.
Yeah, but how fast did you say that you thought the car was moving? About 25 miles an hour?
25 miles an hour.
I mean, that's
but you're going down a straight line at this point, so the car's speed is almost irrelevant since you're lined up with him.
Right. He's got to reacquire that target every single time he shoots. I mean, if it's moving 25 miles an hour...
I hate to break it down like this.
Chamber.
Let's think about some Call of Duty. If you got a guy running at you straight, all right? You got a guy running at you straight. All right? Will it matter if he's sprinting or just running at a leisurely pace when you shoot him?
In Call of Duty, how can you compare Call of
I'm
Duty?
not comparing. I'm not. I know there's different physics, but I'm just trying to get you to see the point. If the guy's sprinting at you, or just walking at you, the fact is the target's in the same spot most of the time. There's very little change in where the actual silhouette of the character is.
Yeah.
So
he wasn't. But that's not how this would have looked.
I mean, on the computer programs I've seen, it wasn't pulling away from him when he made that. When they made that turn, he was directly in line with that window of that book depository, straight in front of him.
Okay.
At about, I think they said 60 meters.
Okay, so there's one shot, and then in 2 seconds at 25 miles an hour, how much do you think it would have moved?
Very little, because the bullet moves at 2,700 feet per second.
Right, but for a car that's going 25 miles an hour in 2 seconds, that's going to cover a lot of ground as far as having to reacquire a target after you rechamber a bolt-action rifle.
Yeah, but he shot 3 times. The first one missed completely.
Yep.
The second one he slung up, hit him in the back, upper back. And by that time, they had slammed on brakes after the first shot.
The second one got him in the throat. And then
the second one got him in the throat, and it hit the Dallas governor. And then the third one actually hit him in the head. When they hit him in the head, he was they were almost completely stopped.
Yeah, that was a pumpkin shot that got him. But I'm really, you know what? I like this because it's like you obviously feel pretty strongly about it, and I got to say, like I just can't buy it. I've got to think, you know what? This was an inside job, and there was at least 2 guys. Like, I mean, I think the grassy knoll theory holds water because, like, again, just for the fact that they would not leave it up to chance for one guy to get this job done.
I think we talked about this a little bit off camera about the grassy knoll theory. You feel like somebody shot it from the grassy knoll, which at the time, in relation to the book depository, would be on like the northeast of the Lincoln Town car that the president was riding in.
Right, but the thing is too, like
the bullet came out the front of his head.
No, I'm not saying that. I don't even know. Here's a lot of the theories is one of the killing shot came from the grassy knoll. I'm not saying that necessarily happened, but there is in the film you can see the Dallas governor's head jerks, and it looks like there might have been another shot that also missed that came from that direction.
Yeah, but there's a chance that the bullet went through Kennedy's throat and hit him in the back.
It might not. No, I'm saying that the second shooter might not have actually hit anything. He might have taken a first shot. He might have missed, and then Oswald hit him, and then he might not have.
But the Dallas governor was hit too. He got shot as well.
Well, right, he got hit. Well, he got hit from the same bullet that went through Kennedy's throat.
Yeah, they're not saying there's actual pictures of where he got shot at.
Yeah, it came through and hit him in the nipple. It came out of his nipple.
Yeah, came out right under his right nipple. So how does somebody shoot him there and the bullet come out, which would be behind him as well? Because with bullets, exit wounds are always bigger than entry wounds. Entry wounds are usually very, very small.
Of course, yeah.
And the exit wounds, after where the bullet gets in there, it starts ripping shit up, it starts ripping meat out with it and takes it right on through your body. It creates this huge exit wound. That's what you see in the Zapruder film when Kennedy had to have been shot in the back of the head for his front of his head to explode like it did.
Here's a question. Why doesn't he have a bigger exit wound in his throat?
Because, I don't know.
You know, I'm just saying, that's kind of interesting if you think about it. Cause, yeah,
I mean, maybe it was lower down in his throat. It didn't come through his actual neck area.
Well,
it went through the windpipe that goes down into the lungs.
If you look at the exit wound on his head, right? I mean, it's a pretty big one, right?
It's a 30 caliber bullet. It's going to fuck you up.
So a throat coming out of his throat, where there's even, I mean, you would think there would be blood spraying everywhere from an exit wound out of the front of his throat. But there's no blood. Like, you don't see any blood in the Zapruder film until the headshot comes. Interesting.
I don't know. Like I said, all the explanation can give you that. Hit him in the back of hit him in the shoulder, in between the shoulder blades, and it came out the front of his chest and hit him in the windpipe there, and blood just started up through the windpipe and started choking him.
Yeah, it's crazy. I gotta say, there's got to be more than one shooter.
Where's the second shooter at though? All the bullets that hit JFK hit him from the backward angle.
He's fucking running his ass down the street.
What, did the cop on the motorcycle behind him shoot him?
Oh, did you hear theories that it was fucking Jackie Onassis shot him from the car because she found out he was boning Marilyn Monroe?
Yeah, I told you that. I'm like, look at it. Why can't old Jackie just put a gun in his mouth right there and just blam?
Yeah, she was like, break yourself, fool. You're gonna fucking fuck around on me.
And there's also the theory that, it was the driver. And I'm like, it isn't the driver.
It's not the driver.
I mean, that was a huge exit wound. What did the driver have? A fucking Smith & Wesson 500, which didn't even exist at the time.
Exactly.
And I mean,
he threw fucking dynamite at him. Threw dynamite.
That was a high-powered rifle that hit him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
His head got flattened like a pancake.
Oof.
I mean, but it's all speculation now. I mean, I don't even know why there's a conspiracy theory, because pretty much what I said is what's actually in the history books. So, you know, Oswald shot him. He shot him 3 times. He hit 2 of the 3 shots. And he did it with a Sears and Roebuck bolt-action rifle, which he stowed away because I think he was part of the cleaning crew of that library, that depository.
Yeah. I'm not buying it. I refuse to accept your thesis, sir.
Well,
Conspiracy. I'm going to put the big red conspiracy stamp on this one, guys.
So can we just go with plausible?
What? Plausible that Oswald was a lone gun?
Yes.
I mean, technically it's possible, but I don't think so.
All right, guys, what do you guys think in the comment section? As you could, please, if you enjoy the series, let us know. Leave the video a rating. Check out Mr. Chaos Math's channel in the description below. He does really cool videos, and you should check out his character, the Governor.
Right, thank you.
Peace, people.
Later, guys.
Perfect. Hold up. Let me call you back.